Oh, I'm tired of this transfer news, but for my viewers, my supporters, my DG Nation members, I do it for you lot. Smash the like button. Let's see exactly what's the current state of play where Arsenal's transfer news is concerned. It's been a busy end to the week, I would say. Goalkeeper link, strikers, Gyökeres, Sesko, Rodrigo, Leão. The list goes on, people. So yeah, smash the like button, get the creative juices flowing. Make sure you're leaving a comment at the end of the video and also in the live chat, and big up everybody listening on the replay as well as listening at the moment. The Arsenal ownership and most of the hierarchy feel Benjamin Sesko presents the best overall package, with the club continuing to do more work on the deal. One view is that missing out on Sesko now might be like missing out on another Alexander Isak. Now, if we don't, obviously, Isak and Sesko are very different strikers. I think they mean in the sense that people might be ooming and ahhing now, not necessarily convinced on his quality at this moment in time, but in a year or two or anything from the first 6 months and beyond, people might think, wow, we should have got him. And that's the hope with Arsenal. I just care about him scoring goals, people, if I'm honest. RB Leipzig make Benjamin Sesko request as Arsenal transfer talks escalate. Arsenal is showing interest in RB Leipzig striker Benjamin Sesko, who is currently away on international duty with Sevilla. So if this does accelerate, how's he going to have his medical? We've heard the ITKs, you know, big up hand, is it Hand of Arsenal or something like that? He did say, and again, you have to give them their credit, that Leipzig want a quick resolution. So do Arsenal. They, long story short, Leipzig want him through the door. They get their money, they reinvest and do what they need to do and keep it moving. RB Leipzig have asked the Slovenian Football Association to omit Benjamin Sesko from their upcoming international friendly against Bosnia and Herzegovina, apologies, on Tuesday ahead of a potential transfer to Arsenal. So maybe Romano is right. Check out the previous video I did that this might be going somewhere. It'd be nice to get someone through the door and nice to actually speak out about how a player that has signed on the dotted line matches up with Arsenal. Now, who knows? Him and Zubimendi might be announced on the same day, which is July, people. It's just over a month. Happy June, by the way. And I hope May was great. The Gunners, who hold long-standing interest in the 22-year-old, are now beginning to step up their pursuit of the highly rated centre-forward as Andrea Berta looks to bolster Mikel Arteta's forward line. Sesko has been nursing a knee issue, which is not thought to be serious, over the course of the past few weeks. He only played the final 3 minutes of Leipzig's last Bundesliga match of the season against Stuttgart, and despite travelling to Brazil for an end-of-season friendly against Santos, he was unable to take part in training or an exhibition match. Apparently, the Slovenian boss did consider leaving him out of the squad, but decided he would obviously travel and the team doctors would look at him. It's understood that ahead of both games, Leipzig contacted the Slovenian FA to request that Sesko did not feature in either match, as the risk of injury could potentially jeopardize a transfer. Slovenia have made no promises because in their view, their star man could still prove his fitness, which makes sense. Apparently, the Gunners are viewed as strong favourites for Sesko. Sporting director Alberta has already held initial talks with Leipzig chief Marcel Schaefer, but Chelsea and Manchester United also have the player on their shortlist, and Leipzig firmly expect to sanction a sale in the coming weeks. At this stage, a deal is in the works, but it's not thought to be imminent. Okay, so a lot of jargon for us saying that essentially we're kind of at where we're at, where he's concerned, people. Apparently, Sesko is destined for greatness, people. What? Slovenia had top class footballers before. Yeah, that's good. I think he's destined for greatness, they said with Sesko. We were quite quick after that. By the time the media speculation began and bigger clubs noticed him, we already had an agreement. For everyone who went to see him, it was pretty obvious he was pretty much a slam dunk at a very young age. He stands at 6'5". Bloody hell, mate. Bloody hell. There are stories about him kicking basketballs from out of the hoop with a top speed of 35.47 kilometers. Now he's clearly fast, he's clearly strong. That's all good. Football is played with your feet. Yeah, you got to score headers, but can you score some goals, people? It's not just the physicality, it's the technical aspect. It makes for an irresistible combination for top clubs and helps to explain why Sesko is being linked with Arsenal. Okay, that's cool. Apparently, he's keen on the move, although personal terms have not yet been finalized. The outlet adds that the progress in discussions over the 48 hours has been clear. Arsenal are yet to submit a formal bid for the 22-year-old, but getting the green light from the player is a significant breakthrough. I mean, surely we was at that point a long time ago. We've heard essentially Bert has tied up some level of deals with Gyökeres and with Sesko, and he's ready to move in either or direction. The Gunners would like likely try to open formal negotiations with Leipzig rather than trigger his release clause. The striker's release clause with variables rose to 80 million euros. Apparently, people are saying it could go high, excluding the release clause, to 100 million. So we'll have to see. Apparently, Arsenal had been expected to sell Gabriel Jesus this summer, but Football Transfers can reveal the latest surprising news on the Brazil star's future as the transfer window takes a shock twist in North London. We all know about his knee injury. We all know that if he was fit, the 28-year-old might depart. But apparently, the Gunners are planning on offering him a contract extension. What does that mean? Does that mean he's going to be the left winger? Let me know your thoughts. Mikel Arteta has no intentions of selling Gabriel Jesus, who is out of contract in 2027, either in the summer or during the January transfer window. Indeed, there have already been discussions about a possible one-year extension for the former Man City man, but he's not fit. Is that to keep his confidence? Is that to protect some level of value? I don't know, people. What do you lot make of that? I'm sure that's probably rustled up some feathers, and some of you don't believe that that should be done. Arsenal went into the summer deciding between Sesko and Gyökeres, but it's understood Sesko is currently leading. Sesko has long been considered as having a higher ceiling, while there's a general view in the market that Gyökeres is overpriced. Arsenal, as we keep saying, are advancing in negotiations, and apparently talks are progressing well with both Leipzig and the player, according to Romano. We've gone over that. Sky Germany are echoing the same. Again, Romano the same. Gyökeres looks to have changed his tune and is now open to a move to Manchester United despite them not having Champions League football. Gyökeres' private feelings on Arsenal transfer as Gunners make final call. He fancies a move to Arsenal if he gets to pick off his clubs this summer. Arsenal are one of a number of top clubs targeting the Sporting forward. Manchester United are among those monitoring the 27-year-old. Sporting believe Gyökeres prefers Arsenal in the Premier League interest over from Spain and Italy. Arsenal can also offer Champions League. As we know, Sporting are ready to sell him. It will take just over 60 million. We all know he's been very coy on his future. We've heard a lot of rumors. Apparently, reports in Spain suggest we're still monitoring Julian Alvarez. We know we're on to Sesko, and we'd love Isaac, but that's dead in the water at this moment in time, folks. Zubimendi, apparently, we're confident that we'll get him over the line. We're still linked with Bayern Munich's Leroy Sané, as well as Athletic Bilbao's Nico Williams. And apparently, we have held extensive talks with a variety of different clubs and agents, and Real Madrid's Rodrigo has been heavily linked, but his price would impact heavily on other business. I hear that. Apparently, Rafael Leão wants to leave Milan. The Italian club is aware of that and want at least 70 million euros. So that's about 60. Leão is on Bayern's list, but there's nothing advanced or concrete. The club is considering several options. They've yet to decide which player to go all in for. We were linked with Rafael Leão prior. Would you lot go for him at this price? Please let me know your thoughts. You would have heard Gunner Blog say, as well as Konstantinos Karasas, Arsenal have also followed Olympiacos midfielder Christos Mouzakis, 18 years of age. I mean, get the players for right now, but if you need to scout, fair play. Arsenal are among the clubs looking at, Carrascas, who plays for Gent. He'll cost 30 to 40 million euros. He wouldn't be able to join us until January of 2026 at the very earliest, folks. Arsenal will present a strong financial offer should Rodrigo become available, and they are willing to compete with any club for his signing. Real Madrid are adamant they do not want to sell the player unless he asks for a move personally. And that was a follow-up tweet from which Arsenal have made Rodrigo their number one winger target this summer. The recruitment team are in unanimous agreement, while several key figures at the club, including first-team players, have spoken to Rodrigo about a move. Unless he makes it clear he wants to leave Real Madrid, that's dead in the water. Apparently, we have made Kepa of Chelsea, formerly of Bournemouth, for a season, our main target as we look to recruit a backup goalie. We see his 5 million release clause as a potential market opportunity, and according to Gunner Blog, are actively pursuing an agreement with the player. What do you make of that? Players of the season have been announced. Declan Rice finished first. Bukayo Saka was second. David Raya was third. Now it's difficult, but spare a thought for Gabriel Magalhaes and Jurrien Timber, in my humble opinion. And you also would have seen Arsenal are in advanced talks with Matteo Tregonozzi over a senior recruitment role, which again, we can't have too much experience. How long before we're linked with Vlahovic again, people? AC Milan allegedly want to sign him from Juventus. I'm expecting to see us. Good news, Gabriel Magalhaes, if you've been under a rock, has signed a new contract, people. We've gone over the right stuff, so I won't bore you with that anymore. What's this? We're ready to go all out on who? Rodrigo. Rodrigo's going to take his time over his future. Arsenal ready to bid up to 70 million euros. That's not going to get him. Previous reports, as it says here, have indicated they want 100 million euros. Rodrigo, though, is seen as a player who can add game-breaking qualities to Arsenal play that were sometimes lacking as they finished as Premier League runners-up yet again. The positive news for Arteta is that the 24-year-old, who's under contract until 2028, so he's got a bit of time, is an attainable target, although the Spanish sources point out that his future will not be decided imminently due to the arrival of Xabi Alonso. Under the previous administration, he struggled to find room in a packed attack alongside Kylian Mbappe, Vinicius Jr., and to a lesser extent, Jude Bellingham. Equally, it's claimed Rodrigo wants to discuss his future with Alonso and express his desire to play off the left, a role where he's currently third choice at the Bernabeu. So we keep hearing the same things at this moment in time, but hopefully we can get some signings over the line.